Hi Helen. Hi Nikki. Oh, Helen, how have you managed to get a quiet house? Hi Lynn. Daylight saving goes. Oh, we've just gone on to British summertime, so it is actually, and it's really sunny at the minute as well. So just going to get started. So we've got the spine and the covers of the book cut to size, and because my bookbinding tape is somewhere in that special place that we all know, I'm going to do a quick refresher on how to use Tyvek. So I'm going to peel. This is just brown cardstock, and I had a sheet of double-sided sticker, which is easier than putting, you only have to peel one lot off. Having said that, that's easier than said than done. Knew I should have started trying to peel this off before we went live. There we go. Okay, so that's our double-sided cardstock with double-sided sticky on it, although it is sticking more to me than anything else. So I'm just going to, and so it sticks to me, pop on the Tyvek. So that's going to be my spine. So plenty of glue on to stick the spine to the Tyvek. And I do need to get some new glue out. Now, what I did earlier was to just put a line on the spine that measures the middle of it, because then when I'm looking at putting the hinges on, I can weigh up where is the middle of the card. Okay, so if I just pop my spacers on, plenty of glue on there, just line that up and squidge it down, and then I'll spin that round and put more glue on there. And again, we will pop that down like that, and then just take the spacers out, and I'm just going to move that up a little bit just so that I don't nudge it and get the knock them off a little bit. So that's our front and back, and then I'm going to do the rest. Now, if you remember, all the pages for this book were made from one 12 by 12 sheet of card. So what I'm going to show you is 12 by 12 obviously gives you a 6 by 6 inch page. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the sizes, Diana, but in the UK, if you take one of our A4 sheets of card and fold it in half, I'll do this roughly. So if you fold it in half both ways, okay, and then make one cut. Now, if you're going to cut up there, that will mean that your card will fold that way, and you can make the same book, but it would be that shape instead. Now, this paper was what I had left from the Woodland Tale retreat 18 months ago, and as you can see, again, it's got 4 fins on it. I just realised why it's glaring. Oh, this one's only got 3. So you've got your fin, and if you've cut it, you've got a front page, a back page, and then these pages have got little pockets in, and in between you've got a pull out there for your photographs. I only did this one with 3 fins, and I didn't do lots of extra flips and flaps just because I didn't have a lot of the paper left. So I was making the fins, decorating it as I went along one by one, just to see how much paper I had left to be able to finish the book. So that is if you cut your flap up there. Now, if when you make them, you cut it and cut up there, when you fold it over, your pages will go the other way. So it's the same size book, just a different perspective on it. So again, this one, opens up, and you've got your plain page, your pocket pages, and your inserts there, and a plain page. So on this one I have got, again, 4 fins, each with 3 pages. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. Just a quick catch up on your comments. Oh, Helen. Oh, no boys in. How wonderful. What was it you found? Oh, your Tyvek. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Diana. Hi, Lynn. I will message you later. Hi, Jen. Hi, Lorraine. It does get very strange when you're used to a house full and they're not there anymore. So I'm just going to trim this down because I did cut it slightly over. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap the front and back of the book as well, so that we have, it's a nice looking, that way, book. So I'm going to turn that over, put the tape on both sides and then the glue. It's so long since I've made a book without using construction tape. I did have to sit this afternoon and run through and remind myself how we need to do it. Which I found really odd, because that was the only way we did it for years before we got the construction tape. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to get this off in one go, which may or may not work. A bit like watching paint dry when I can't get the tape off straight away, but never mind. There we go. So put the glue on. And then if I turn that over, I'm just going to overlap it a little bit. There we go. and then remove that bit, and then again take the tape off. I wish they'd do an easy way of doing this tape. It's not a great way for doing it. I think this is probably why Cal went to construction tape, because it's much easier. There we go. So again, I'll just get some more of the brown cardstock. Get the glue on. And again, just going to pop that down like that. Okay. So I'm just going to fold those in. And again at that side. I'm sure you all remember how to do it this way. And then I'm going to bang my scissors and just miter those corners off. And then back to the double-sided to stick this down. So has anybody been making anything interesting recently? Or has anyone been scrapbooking? So I'll just get this backing of this tape again, or attempt to. There we go. So get that off. I'm going to put some extra glue on here just to make sure that they stay down flush. And then I'm just going to squidge that corner in. And again, take the double-sided off down here. And again, you glue. And just fold that up and over. And then again, if you squidge your corner down, it will make for a neater finish on your corners. Okay. So if you fold that up, so that's one side done. And just do the other side. So again, just take these off. Pop your glue on. And then fold that up. Why is it when you want your tape to be easy tear, it doesn't do, but when you don't want it to be easy tear, it rips? So again, just fold that up and push that over. Get your bone folder and just squidge your corners in. Take your tape off and some more glue, and then again just push that up and over, and you've got your corners there. Quick tidy up because I've just chucked them everywhere. Okay, so that is your book. Now for the hinges, as well as putting all the glue on the back, I'm going to put some tape on across to give it a really good secure stick inside the book. That a really good burnish down. And then again, fight with the tape. Now, as I said before, I've got the line on the middle of the spine. So I'm just going to put my glue on here, all round. And just down the tape so it doesn't stick before I want it to. So I know the middle of my spines are there. Make sure it lines up. Like that. And burnish that down. What I tend to do is get one of my thicker ball tools and just rub it in the gap, just so that you stretch your card slightly so it will fold nicely. But it is better for you to wait until the glue's stuck. Now, something that I was going to mention before and I forgot was, before I put it in, stuck my hinges in, I actually angled the hinges off, just to make sure, because otherwise I end up trying to do it with my scissors and usually make a mess of it. So that's my spine in. Now, if you remember way back on the first week, we made some pockets, and we made one for the front, that's the back, but one for the back and one for the front. And I think I've ended up using that, so I'll just stick the back one in for now, because I don't know what I've done with the one from the front. So we'll pop the glue on and line that up as straight as you can do, and just burnish that down. Okay, so now we've got the hinges, or the pages. So as you can see, each page is quite a chunky monkey. So just move them out of the way. Pop some glue on both sides of the hinge. And then if you open it up, so again, pop that over your hinge and just press that down so it makes a nice firm stick, and you get a really good adherence there. And again, make sure you've got your page the right way, so it'll go in there. Plenty of glue on. And stick that down while I'm waiting for that to stick. A quick catch up on there. What papers did I use on the portrait book? That's a really good question, Nikki. I think it was quite an old wintry paper boutique book. But yeah, it came with the little tags and the little cutter parts. Yeah, but it was quite, I think it was an 8x8 book. Although a 6x, in fact. Yeah, I think it was an 8x8 book that had the tags and embellishments that you had to cut yourself from, or cut from yourself. And it had the circular ones as well. But it's a really old book, but it was a really pretty one as well. I don't know if they're still going, because they were part of Creative Expressions, which have closed now, so I'm not 100% sure. But the beauty of these books is that you can use whatever paper you want, if you want to use. I saw some really nice wrapping paper the other day that would have made an absolutely amazing book. I didn't buy it because apparently, according to my husband, I've got plenty of books. Yeah, and that's what happens when you're talking and you put them in the wrong way around. Oh, it's not stuck yet. Get them the right way around. There we go. So they were all in the right order really, but then I knocked them off my desk and I appear to have put them back in the wrong order. And there we go. And just slide that on your fin and put your hinge that way. Oops. So I'm just gonna make sure that's straight and stick that one down. Okay. So as you can see, with all the added flips, flaps, pockets and goodness knows what else, not quite long enough. So you've got your 2 pockets there, and you've got a page for, you can just put your photo on there, and you open that out. Again, there's a page for a photograph there. Oops, you lift that up and you've got a photo mat there. Turn that over and you've got a photo mat there. And you've also got, between your pages, room for a photo mat there. And again, this one flips open, and I've just used one of the cutter parts but just glued it on the 2 edges there, so you can pop your photo mat just behind it. And then on the back you've got your stacked pocket. Then on this one, I found somewhere where I've forgotten to decorate. You've got your photo mat on the pocket there. You lift that up and down, and again, found the bits that you've forgotten to decorate. So you fold those up and that comes over. And then on there, again, you've got your pockets that open. Lift up, photo pocket, photo mat pocket even. And again, some more photo mat pockets. And then you've got your section in the middle to put another photo mat. So you've got your stacked pocket again there. Oops. And you turn that over, you lift it up, and you've got 2 pages there where you can just put photographs. On the front is 2 pockets like that. And again, another pocket there. So you've got quite a lot of places for photographs. Pocket there. 2 pockets at the top. Lift it up and you've got 2 photo mats there. Then if you open that up, that opens up and you've got a photo mat in the middle of there. Again, photo mat there, and there's a small pocket at the bottom. There is room for a photo mat in there, and again, one at the top and one at the bottom there. On this one, again, your pocket is actually your flap that opens out. And again, here you've got a photo mat there and a pull out photo mat there. One there, one there. And is anyone keeping up with how many photo mats there are? Because I've forgotten. Open that out, and again you've got a bit that I've not decorated. Pocket there, pocket there. Oops. Pocket in the end. One at the top, one at the bottom. Open that out, and again place the photos there. And then on the back you've got one I've decorated. So there are a lot of places in there, pocket at the front and at the back, whereby you can put your photos or ephemera or whatever it is, tags. On some of these I've actually punched a hole in the top so it'll have ribbon in to pull out. So let's have a look. I'm going to make another pocket for there because I don't know what I've done with the other one. So cut that at 7. by 3.5. Right, so we'll score that at, oops, 1/2 inch, spin it round at 1/2 inch on both sides. I'm going to mitre those corners. And then burnish that, then we can get the pocket down. And just because I'm being awkward, I'm going to pop that one the opposite way so that the pocket is on the side rather than the bottom. Stuck down there like that for you. So all that's left for me to do on this one is to finish decorating, putting the paper on the front and back covers and deciding what I want on the front. Now with this one, I've actually got some of the cutter parts and I was playing with the idea of just using one of those. No, I do prefer that one. So what I thought I'd do is pop that on. I've got some lace to go up there, but that just fits top and bottom with a tiny bit of a border on both of them. So stick. Now let's stick with the one I've started with. So I don't know if you remember, but those of you that were with me for the first one and the second one, these papers are part of a kit that I had a couple of years ago, and I actually used the full kit for what was the Midnight Tales album, and these papers that I've used in here are what was left of from making that album. So even though it wasn't a full collection, it is quite good that you can just use up what you've already got on there. Now let me get some lace. I don't know which one I prefer. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that lace, and I might put some on there. Now what I found with lace is it's usually a better idea to use quite fine red liner tape. It tends to give a better stick to it. So I'm just going to line my red liner tape up there. Okay, so I've just pressed that down, and hopefully this will come off easier. And then just line that up. And then I cut that one off there. It seems a shame cutting this lace, but needs must. So this one's got quite a lot of open space on it. So what I tend to do with this is take that off, line that up, and then trim the bottom off. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some little bits of red liner just under those, and maybe a little blob of blue underneath there, just to give it a bit more security. That might go glue all the way. Just so I don't mind it moving against the book, but we don't want it coming off. I'm just going to hold that while it sticks and it doesn't move. So that's the front of the book. So I can now go through the rest of the papers that I've got and just finish off on the front and those odd pages that I have somehow missed putting papers on. So like I say, that is using 12 by 12 papers and folding them in half again, cutting up to make your fins which have 3 pages on. I'll just quickly run through again. If you take A4 cardstock here in the UK, or I think it's letter size in the US, and fold it, and then if you cut up one way, oops, you will get a book that goes landscape like that. And again, you get your flap, your pocket page with a pocket on either side, and then your pull out to put your photos in. And again, your pocket page, the flat pages, and your pull out there. And then exactly the same technique, folding it, doing exactly the same, but cutting up the long way on your piece of A4, and it will turn out that way. Which again, you've got your fin there with a page with a pocket on each side, and room for a photo mat in the middle, and another page, and then the same again. So it's exactly the same technique, it's the same process, it's just different sizes. If you had 6x6 papers that you wanted to use, or you had some offcuts that are maybe 4x4, you could start off by using, if you did a 10-inch sheet of card, you would end up with a 5x5 square pages. If you did an 8-inch piece of card, you'd end up with a 4x4 book, and then that would go down. So you could even end up with a tiny 3x3 book if you wanted. But there are lots of, and you, as you see, you can use it and just put the minimum amount of pages in with no extra flips and flaps, just the papers. Or you can take it to town and put every little flip, flap, pocket that you can think of in it. So this will hold an awful lot more photographs than one of the smaller ones. On these you could probably put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15, maybe 20 photographs in that one, and the same in the one that goes portrait. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I reckon you could easily get between 55 and 60 photographs in there. Most 6x4, but you could, if you cut them down and did 3x4s or 2x3s, you'd get an awful lot more photographs in that as well. So I hope you've all enjoyed. I would love to see the photos of the albums that you've made in the group, just to see what other papers people are using. Just have a quick catch up on everybody's chatter. Yeah, construction tape's brilliant, and I may have some coming as well. Oh, hi Mary, didn't see you popping in. Nikki, yes, this is Cottage Garden Papers by Graphic 45. Yeah, it is beautiful papers. So yeah, no worries. There is lots of potential, Linda. It can go from a really quick, I was asked to do an album for somebody a few weeks ago, and did it very simply without all the added flips and flaps on it, and I did it and decorated in about an hour and a half. Obviously with this one it's more in depth, it's got more pockets, more pulley out bits, but it was just a small album that I was asked to do, like I say, hour and a half was probably a record. So from next week on Wednesday night, I will be starting on the travel holiday album with the Minte Mediterranean papers. That'll be fun because I'm using white cardstock, so it means I need to keep my fingers clean, otherwise I end up smudging it everywhere. So we'll start on that next Wednesday. I have still got some kits in the shop if you want any. And thanks very much for joining me. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you all soon or next week online. See you soon. Bye.